Hi, today we'll see how to create a fully self-hosted survey voice agent with Callflow. This could be useful, for example, to take feedback at the end of a call, or maybe you have to ask 30 questions to a customer for whatever reason in your business. We're going to be using Callflows that have this feature, this Callflows feature with a C, that makes creating a flow for the conversation much more reliably. Instead of relying on system prompts that maybe the AI end up not following or end up hallucinating, okay? Callflows bring programmatic and deterministic behavior into the conversation flow, making sure that the agent is doing whatever you want it to do. You'll have the Callflow website down below, also the email to contact our team, and also a link to schedule a call with the team in case that you want to explore Callflow to see if it's a good fit for your business. Okay, let's start with the tutorial. Oh, and by the way, before starting, just say that you can do this with LiveKit directly. However, you'll have to use system prompts. You can also do it in other platforms. Okay, it's not mandatory to use Callflow, but it's a platform that makes it extremely easy to create voice agents completely self-hosted. You'll have both the JSON of the agent and the JSON of the Callflow down below in the description so that you can go there and download it. Okay, great. So let's start with the agent itself. It's an extremely easy and simple example. That's why I'm not going to do a demo. It's just asking 4 or 5 questions and sending that to an agent. I'm going to show you how it is set up in Callflow, but I don't think that at this point it's necessary to do a demo. It just depends also how it sounds. It depends completely on the provider, specifically in the TTS section, the provider and the model that you choose. Of course, Cortish is going to be sounding much more realistically compared to DeepGram for my experience, okay? However, you can tweak it and make it sounding quite good too. But yeah, basically the name, the separate STT, LLM, TTS mode. We are going to be adding real-time models. Actually, we are working on it right now, the development team. And yeah, just choose STT, TTS, and LLM model, a language, and a specific voice that you want to be using. Set up these provider cost settings here to keep track of the costs. And yeah, we are not connecting to N8N using the MCP server. We are going to be connecting to N8N via the Callflows. We'll see that later. Just choose the time zone that you want here. And yeah, just leave the advanced options as it is. Maybe you want to tweak the VAT settings a bit to make sure that it fits your desire. And also I would recommend to keep this active just to make sure that your billing is correct, is protected. Okay, your AI inference is protected. Another security measure that we have added is a bot detection native CAPTCHA. I would recommend just to let it activated. It detects bots, asks them to verify. Of course, bots will not be verified, and the call will just be hang up. Okay, awesome. Then in prompt, I have not sent a first message here because we're going to be sending the first message in the Callflow. Okay, so that's why I have deactivated this. This has priority over the first message in the Callflow, but yeah, I'd like just use a Callflow. But if you want, you can set here a first message and not set it in the Callflow. Do whatever you want. Okay, and then the system prompt. This is preset or a template that I shared in this channel 5 or 4 months ago, something like that. So yeah, it's basically defining the personality, the environment, the tone and style, the different goals. It has 2 goals here, the guardrails, what it should not be doing, what it should be doing, all of this, example dialogue, and then describing what it should be doing with each tool. Okay, so yeah, and then internal configuration. This is a quick knowledge base so that the agent knows the owner name, the business name. Actually, the time zone it's not necessary here because it is already included into the system prompt via this field here. Okay, you could very well remove this part. Then in tools, you can create custom HTTP tools. I could very well have created a custom HTTP tool here to send the information to N8N, but since this is a pretty structured conversation flow, just using the call flow, it's enough, okay? And then we have the native agent tools that Callflow by default, the software adds to the agents. And yeah, we'll save the agent and then going to Callflow, please activate it. You can import the JSON just clicking here and import JSON, and it's exactly the same behavior in the agent, okay? So yeah, this is the Callflow. We have a start node here with web type. However, you can also set it to phone, okay? If you have set up the zip trunk, the phone that has to be assigned to the zip trunk and everything else, if you have already set that up, you can select a phone, the inbound trunk, and whatever, okay? Just for simplicity, I will leave it to web. Connect agent, just select the agent. Then it comes the first message that I was talking about. This conversation node just says, hello, this is a quick 3-question survey to improve our service. First, what is your name? Okay, it is starting with the survey itself. I have selected literal mode so that every time it says exactly the same, because if you select guide mode, it's going to change the words every time because it's going to process whatever you set here through the LLM, and then the LLM is going to pass the message to the TTS component. Okay, with literal mode, it's just passing this to the TTS component directly, and it will also lower the latency. Okay, that's, I think, something important. And then in next step condition, just user gave a substantive response. Maybe you could be sending another condition to make sure that it isn't responding the name and not responding something else. You could be doing something like that, okay? However, this is just a simple example you can build on top of this, okay? Then the node extract name, okay? It's going to be extracting the customer name. Question 2 would be, actually, I have built this with AI. That's why some stuff it's not extremely clear. You can do so yourself with these copy LLM instructions. You can copy it to Claude, to ChatGPT, whatever you use, and just tell it to build a call flow that makes something that you want, okay? And it's going to give a JSON that you can then import from here, okay? But yeah, I think that's something cool. I wanted to tell you about it. Then question 2 would be, actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your overall experience with us? Literal mode again, because we want the agent to be asking the same question in every survey. And then the next condition, exactly the same. You could be adding more conditions to make sure that it is actually responding a scale of 1 to 10 and not responding a color. I don't know, okay? Extract the score, and it's over and over again the same, okay? Question, what was the best part of your experience? Extract it again. The next question, extract it again. And then we have an HTTP node here that will be just sending the information over to the N8N workflow, okay? I have set up a sample N8N workflow. It does not work. Actually, you just adapt it to whatever you are using to store this data, okay? But yeah, it's just sending through parameters the different variables, okay? First action submit. This is not taking the variables. Then we have the customer name and all of this, okay? You'll have all the variables available here. You can just drag and drop it, okay? Or you can write it out like this. Q2 positive, Q3 improvement, source, call flow, okay? And this is going to be sent to this webhook URL. This is, as you can see, N8N, okay? A self-hosted version of the N8N. You can also, if you have set up the N8N workflow to respond to whatever you send, you can also test the request, and it's going to automatically map the variables, okay, whatever the N8N has responded, okay? Because in this case, it doesn't matter, but in other cases, maybe you want to gather some information from the internet and you want to use that information in later the conversation. As you can see, all these variables that have been returned from the HTTP, if you test test it out. They are available in the variables and you can drag and drop it into the messages and whatever. Okay, in this case it doesn't matter, but in other cases, for other use cases, it could be quite useful. Okay, and showing you the N8N workflow, as you can see, is extremely simple. Actually, I have not set it up. It's just to show you how you would be getting that information in N8N. Okay, just set up a webhook, receiving this, of course, activate it, set it to production URL, copy that production URL and set it inside of the HTTP node in the call flow. Okay, and then if you wanted this workflow to respond back to the call flow, just like I just shown you, have to set it to immediately when last node finishes. This is an option. Or if you want to have much more control over the response, you could be using respond to webhook node and then set here webhook, respond to webhook, and then you can control exactly how the response is like with JSON, with JWT token, binary file, responding with a file. Okay, you can have much more control over this, but yeah. And I just added this node because I used to use BaseRaw to store data, okay, as a hosted instance of BaseRaw. But yeah, of course, if you're using Airtable, you're using Google Sheets, just change this node out and adapt it, okay, so that it is saved correctly. And then lastly, we have this close survey node that it's just going to say thank you, insert customer name, your feedback has been recorded so we can improve our service, have a great day, and that's it. Okay, and then the end call, it's just going to hang up automatically after saying this. You can also enable the post call evaluation if you want. Okay, in this case, this is a survey after the call, so it doesn't really make sense probably to do a call evaluation here. But if it's a survey taking information from a customer to do the onboarding or whatever, maybe it's interesting to enable the post-call evaluation. It provides a lot of information, okay? The call and reasons, and it also elaborates on each of the call and reasons that you activate here. For example, it does not only say the user hang up, it's also elaborating why the user hang up. Maybe it's because the user was angry, maybe the user didn't understand what was happening, I don't know, whatever reason, okay? Or the agent hung up because it thought that the call was finished, but maybe you can review it and that it is not the case. I don't know. I think that it's quite useful, but in some cases it doesn't really make sense to activate the post-call evaluation because, of course, it's going to be to add up a little bit of extra cost because it has to be running an extra LLM after the call. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. Here you have the execution history in case that you want to see how it went, the transcript, whatever. You can also see the transcript here in conversations. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Remember that you have both JSON of the Callflow and agents down below in the description. You also have the website of Callflow to get an overview on the different aspects of it, the plans, whatever. You can also schedule a call down below in the description with the team. And if you need, first send an email through the email address that it's down below in the description. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.